All right, all right. Straight off the roof, assets, that's
have to audition 5 minutes into this.
This is working on my fucking. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to Capital Culture. I'm your host, Broadcast Wheeler, and today we are starting season 4, fresh from Miami, and we are sitting down with one of the GOAT directors out of the 305. He's worked with people such as Jack Harlow, Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly, GEazy. Some would say he's more hip-hop than Cuban, and he would tell you never let a bad song stop you from shooting a good video. With that being said, we are here with Michael Garcia today. Thank you for joining us.
Peace, man. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
I have a lot of good questions for you today. I think we'll just start off with the simple questions I always start my interviews with. Who is Michael Garcia?
Wow. I don't know if Michael Garcia knows who Michael Garcia is anymore. Man, I'm just a kid that grew up in Kendall, Miami, which is a subset of Miami, Florida. Fell in love with music at an early age and film at an early age, and kind of always knew what he wanted to do and where he wanted to be. You know, I've always wanted to inspire and do things that drive me emotionally.
Okay. Do things that drive me emotionally. Speak on that a little bit.
I mean, I don't know, like, I feel like a life that a lot of us, and this might sound weird or prophetic or whatever, but like, I feel a lot of us wake up in the morning and we have our own mundane lives, and we have a purpose. We go to work, 9 a.m., we're doing something that we're not happy in, you know, whatever that career may be. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know, but I've always wanted to wake up and feel a sense of fulfillment.
Yeah.
You know, and at a very young age, I remember my mother waking me up and having me skip school to watch Michael Jackson Thriller, right? When the premiere on MTV, it was like the biggest thing.
That's cool.
And she was so excited to see Michael Jackson Thriller. Like, she was just like, I can't wait to show you this. And I must have been like 5 or 6. And I just looked at the smile on my mom's face of how excited she was to see this and her favorite artist. And I just said, man, I want to make people feel like that.
Okay.
Like, that's what I want to do. I want to make people feel like that.
Interesting.
And then, you know, when I went to my first concert, which was Michael Jackson, the Victory Tour, you know, watching people dance and freak out and just flip out. And I was like, man, the control he has over this audience's emotion.
Yeah.
It must be such a fulfilling feeling to know that he's making people feel this way. And everybody there felt like they were being touched individually, even though he's talking to 80,000 people, you know, but everybody felt like that message was for them. So I just wanted to give people that kind of feeling, you know?
Yeah,
So,
inspiration. Interesting. Do you remember the first day you got your first camera?
yeah, man.
Walk us through it.
Yeah.
Is there a story behind it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was rapping with my crew, Crazy Hood Productions.
Okay.
And the internet was in its baby stages of forming.
Okay.
You know, and EFN had come up with the idea of having a website.
Okay.
And people were starting to put their music out online, but nobody was making their own videos yet. You remember, this is like 20, maybe 25 years ago.
Yeah,
So,
2000s.
Yeah. So like, nobody was like, had the access to make videos. And I was like, yo, I know what I could do. I had a little bit of credit. I'm gonna go to Best Buy and buy a camera.
Was that the red camera you bought with EFN together?
No. This is way back. This is
Okay.
This is like super hipster.
Okay, yeah.
Now it's like, oh, you saw the hipsters walking around with it.
Yeah.
So I went and I bought it. I couldn't afford it, so I just bought it on credit, and then I shot our first video, which was the All Starshine.
Okay.
And I shot that video, cut it, and then on the next Monday I returned it because I couldn't afford it. And then that's what I would do. I bought two tapes, one that I kept, and then one that I just pulled all the tape out and said the camera ate my tape. And I did that over and over and over until I could actually afford a camera.
That is a great story. You are a big fan of hip hop, so much that one year you saved up all your lunch money to release a single. I say that to say this. Where do you think the stage, or what do you think, where do you think the stage of hip hop is right now compared to back then? Do you like the state of hip hop where it is at right now, or do you think we're doing better back then?
Globally, yeah. You know, globally, yeah. I think like Europe has a great scene. I mean, I just watched some hip hop the other day coming out of Japan. I was like, yo, this is crazy. This is so dope. Yeah, like I saw some Japanese drill music. I was like, yo, this is nuts. I don't know what's happening, but they're very passionate about the culture. I feel like in America, a lot of hip hop is right now being driven for money.
Yeah.
And I think it's lost the state of its own culture. Like, I don't even know if hip hop knows what it is anymore. Or it could be argued that hip hop is becoming like rock, where it's like subgenres of hip hop. You know, like, you know, it's classic rock, heavy metal, you know, country rock, pop rock, glam rock. maybe hip hop is doing that.
So,
But I feel like there's a lot of good music out there. I think people, my generation, I feel gets it wrong a lot. Where they and it's like every generation, right? You know, once you get older, you look down at the youth like you guys don't know what you're talking about,
Yeah.
and this sucks. And that's not the case. I just feel like there's so much stuff coming out at a extreme rate, and it's information overload that it's hard for the good shit to cut through the fat.
okay, I'll take that answer. In 2012, that's when you kind of really shifted gears from rapping to, let's say, being a director. Would you put that or would you put that on the birth of your daughter in the sense of getting into something more less, I guess the hip hop scene is not something you kind of want to, I don't know, from if I had a daughter, the hip hop scene or the, let's say the entertainment industry might be a bit much. So maybe was that one of the reasons you made the shifts?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, my daughter was born in 2008.
Oh, 2008, excuse
Yeah,
me.
no,
My
it's
bad.
fine because it still correlates.
Yeah.
My daughter was born in 2008, and I was really enjoying being a dad. And I had some issues legally that I got into some trouble.
Okay.
And I was fortunate enough that the case got dismissed, but I was, going to go away for a little while.
Okay.
And it's not something I'm proud of, but it was something that happened.
Part of your life.
And I was like, yo, I don't want to be in the street anymore. I need to change my entire life. And nothing changes if nothing changes, right?
Yeah.
And I really loved the feeling of being behind the camera. And I was like, yo, I can still add to the culture. I just don't have to be in front of the camera.
Yeah.
And I also was like, at the time, I thought I was born in 2003. I was 34.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, I don't want to be 45 looking for a record deal. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like that
yeah,
to me,
yeah,
that just felt weird.
Absolutely.
And I'm not knocking anybody who's doing that. It just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And anything I do 1,000%. So I knew if I kept making music, that means I kept having to be in the club.
Yeah.
I kept having to perform. I kept having to chase this rat race.
Yeah.
And then I kept having to think about how I dressed every morning. And I kept having to think about how I appeared on camera and how I was speaking. And I was like, yo, I just kind of want to capture the culture. And I want to create content that captures the history of our culture.
What do you think makes you stand out from other directors on the scene? What do you bring to the table? Do you think that, let's say, record labels really like or artists really like?
I just don't really do anything structurally that's going to fall in line with what they think the artist may need. I do things for what I feel the song calls for. You know what I mean? So like I might hear a line in a song and I go out completely out the box. Like Bad Baby, I was hearing Bad Baby, I'm just bringing up her video, but she was talking all this killer gangster stuff on her music, and I was like, yo, she talks like a serial killer. I'm gonna just write her as a serial killer in a video. You know what I'm saying? Like she's talking like she's a maniac. So I'm gonna just write her as like this massive murderer chick and create this character.
Okay.
MGK, Bloody Valentine, I'm sure we'll get into that too. It sounded like the best hangover after the Sunset Strip with a toxic relationship.
Absolutely.
So, I just try to think completely out the box.
You brought it up, so we'll dive into it. MGK, as we know, was a rapper before he went pop rock. Now, you shot his arguably first pop rock hit video. What did you think of the transition? And it was obviously brilliantly executed by you, Bloody Valentine, shot by Michael Garcia, directed by Michael Garcia. Like, that's huge. What did you think of the shift? Were you a little bit apprehensive, or how did you think it was going to be perceived?
No, because I thought it was great, and for me as a director, because I'm always looking at like what can I gain out of this situation, right? And I grew up a humongous Guns N' Roses fan, right? So I was
Rage Against the Machine too.
Yeah, big time Rage Against the Machine, and I fell in love with the look and feel of some of these American rock stars from the 80s and 90s, and like the Panic of the Discos and all those other guys that were coming out at that time in the pop punk scene or the Green Disc, they always had the suit, the tie, they looked really pretty.
Yeah.
MGK just had this edge. And I was like, he always had this crazy edge. And I was like, yo, visually, this is going to work. I knew it was going to work. I was like, no rock stars look like this guy anymore.
Yeah.
Like, he's not at that level of that massive level.
How was the day of the shoot? Walk me through it. Is it hard to deal with stars that big or?
No, it was great. I mean, look, there was obviously a lot of pressure. You got making Fox good. Not really. Yes and no. I mean, at the time, when I wrote that concept, I had written for MGK 5 times already, and I had written on a lot, and I can't remember the records now. One of them was, damn.
So you got Bloody Valentine like
that was number 6.
Yeah. So You shot 6 videos for him.
No. I had written 5 times. I never got the video.
Got it. Okay.
And it goes back to what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Every time I wrote, I just followed whatever the label wanted. And I was like, oh, that's what he wants me to write that. That's what he writes me to write that. And then I get that brief in, and I was so frustrated writing for him. I was like, yo, you know what, man? Like, I'm not going to write whatever they're telling me to write. I'm just going to do whatever I think is cool. And I'm going to just, he'll never go for it, but I'm going to just write him waking up after a long night on the Sunset Strip.
Yeah.
And it's a toxic one-night stand.
With him.
And this girl, no, but I didn't write her.
Oh, so wow. Okay. Talk about it.
Yeah, I had wrote Emma Roberts in the original treatment.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was watching American Horror Story at the time. So I had wrote Emma Roberts first, and he had woke up, and originally it was kind of almost even darker than it was. He was going to be dead the whole video. That's what I wanted.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was like her moving his dead body while performing. You know, so I was like, I went super left.
Yeah.
And then I got a call back from the label, and they were like, hey, can you rewrite this and write Megan Fox? And I was like, you're going to get Megan Fox?
Yeah.
Like, really? Because nobody knew that they were dating yet.
Okay.
So I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay, sure. So I write Megan Fox in. They're like, oh, by the way, he wants to be alive. And I was like, oh, you guys are serious? And they were like, yeah. I was like, oh, shit, okay,
so
cool.
you know it's going somewhere at this
Yeah. So at that point, you start working with the label, and you're like, all right, cool, I'm going to work with this creative. I kept him alive, tied him up.
Yeah.
At the time, the marketing campaign was pink, so I made all the tape. If you notice, everything's pink.
Yeah. It took you to my downfall.
Everything was a pink campaign. And then I got a call back. I got a call the next day, and they were like, "Yo, you're gonna get a text. It's Machine Gun Kelly." And I got a text, and I always get random weird numbers, so I just got a yo, and I was like, "Who is this?" It was like the Gunna, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay, cool."
The Gunna.
So he calls me, and he was like, "Yo, can you do it?" Now here's where the nerves set in. They was like, "Yeah." They were like, "All right." It was, I think, Tuesday. They were like, "Megan is only available this Friday. Can you be in LA Thursday?" And I was like, yeah, sure. So I hop on a flight. I got there. You know, producing a video like that with Megan Fox and Machine, it takes a lot of pre-production to make sure all the logistics are set up.
Absolutely.
And we had like 48 hours. So the house was an Airbnb that we found on Brentwood. That we found out in Brentwood. It's like kind of where OJ used to live. Brentwood's famous for the OJ murder, but it's a very affluent neighborhood. We found this Airbnb. Called in Maz Makani, who was like one of the premier.
So you're in charge of getting everyone together once you got that call, or they did not, like, okay, let me call my team and get.
No, they said, yeah, we're gonna do this. So I got the contract, got the deposit immediately. It was the fastest deposit I ever got, and I was like, all right, cool. Showed up in LA. And I was like, all right, what do I do? Because I have no time. I'm going to just call in the best of the best.
Yeah.
So I called in Maz Makani, whose cinematography career is 25 years deep. I mean, it's insane. He shot everybody from...
What was the budget for that video? I have to ask.
$60,000, believe it or not.
Yeah. For 48 hours.
48, which is like nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So called in Maz Makani, called in Vinny Hobbs, who is like probably the best music video editor right now that's working. Called in Dave Hussey, who's been coloring music videos since the 80s, and everybody wanted to work on it. So we just showed up, but Megan was cool. I mean, Megan, I was expecting a thing, you know, when you shoot a celebrity of that stature, and she showed up in her Tesla. She had all her clothes in the back that she wanted to wear. And
she was very down to earth.
Yeah, she was amazing. Yeah, she was great.
And just 2 days in and out, no any.
It was 1 day shoot.
1 day shoot. Did you have any hiccups, or everything went off without a hitch? Or
yeah, I mean, look, we didn't really have a time to scout it, so we didn't know the location that we were walking in. And when we got in there, this house had this great theater, like an indoor theater, and that theater became my favorite scene. But that wasn't in the video of him just staring at her in her body. And that's when you realize, wow, the chemistry between these two is fantastic.
Okay, so you knew it.
I was like, at that point, I was like, I think there might be something more here. I'm not sure. But that scene, that was the first scene we shot too. That I was like, oh, this is really gonna work. You know?
Yeah, because he exploded after that.
Yeah.
Like, in terms of content pieces, I kind of want to circle back now. Would you say, I want to ask you, what is your breakthrough piece of content in your opinion, or would you still consider it tunnel vision? Or is there another breakthrough piece of content that you...
What do you mean, like my most successful piece of content?
No, I wouldn't say that. Like, I remember, like, a content piece that really sent you to the next level.
Oh, it's hands down tunnel vision, and then it'd be Bloody Valentine after that. Because they go in steps. You know, like tunnel vision was like this big happy accident that just occurred. And then when you get Machine Gun Kelly, when you get a video of that stature, like I don't even know if I was prepared for it. You know, I just remember the label with
But
Machine
you're a
Gun
go
Kelly.
getter.
Huh?
You're a go getter. I can tell that about you.
Yeah, I mean, look, the label called me and they said, Michael, look, you got 40 hours to do this. You got to make a file. We're giving you everything you need.
Yeah.
If you do this, all I ask is I get the best video you've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, all right, cool. I'll see you at the VMAs. That's how I hung up. Before I even shot it, and then I ended up winning the VMA. Like that was like the craziest
Yeah.
hang up ever.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely. Would you consider that one of the pinnacles to your career, or
I mean, it's a pinnacle of one of my lifelong dreams.
yeah?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So have you worked with Kodak since? And the reason there's a
Oh
reason
yeah,
I'm
of course.
asking
Yeah,
that.
5 times.
Now I have as you know, I'm interviewing E or EFN after this. My question to you, this kind of circles more back to, let's say, the rap industry or just the music industry in general. Over the years, what's your take on Kodak's health, just in general? I feel like we see a lot of these people just deteriorate in front of our eyes and don't really say anything. And I have a question for E about that Kodak episode that was shot on Drink Champs. So I won't get into it now. But since you've worked with him closely as well, what's your just take on not just him but the overall industry? And do you think these guys are being taken advantage of and not being looked after properly?
I mean, look, with Kodak, all I could do is say, and I mean this in the utmost respect, I don't comment on anybody's situation that I'm not privy to personally.
Got you.
So all I can tell you is that every time he's been around me, he's been sober, he's been professional.
Got you.
And I'm not giving you the industry answer, I'm giving you an honest answer.
Yes.
You know, he's been sober, he's been professional, and he's always showed up to work, and he's been respectful, and he's a great guy. What he's going through personally, that's every man's struggle to deal with on their own. You know, so I don't know what he's going through.
Yeah, okay.
I can't say he's on drugs, he's not on drugs. I just can tell you I've never seen him do drugs.
Yeah, okay,
know,
fair. But like, let's just say more so, you've been on many sets. I'm not gonna ask for names or not. Like, what's your take on the overall scene? Is it getting better, or like, because as we know, we just saw the allegations coming out with Diddy and this, that, and you know how.
Yo, man, this industry's crazy, bro. All I can tell you is never meet your heroes or always let you down.
Yeah. We're gonna put that for a reel.
You know what I'm saying? Like, never meet your heroes or always let you down.
Yeah.
You got to walk into every situation knowing that you're dealing with a human being first, and celebrities bleed red.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So like none of them are perfect. I've met guys that are the biggest stars on the planet, and you realize why people have 40, 50-year careers like that. Like Sting is fantastic.
Yeah.
You know? And I've met guys that are just terrible human beings.
Yeah.
But I treat it's a business for me. You know what I'm saying? So at the same time, I'm there to make art, and I'm there to create.
Yeah.
And I could tell you within 5 minutes of meeting an artist, this artist is here to stay, or this artist, if they don't get their shit together, is going to be gone in 30 seconds.
Got it.
You know, and they're going to poof. This industry will take advantage of you if you allow it to, and you can survive it if you know what you're about and what you're doing, and you understand where you're going. You know, and it's up to us as human beings to educate ourselves on the business. It's up to us to educate ourselves on money. You know, I love when I hear these comments online and people are like, "Oh, this industry's a bunch of bloodsuckers." Yo, everything that the label is doing to these artists is in their contract. Read your contract, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hire a lawyer, dog.
Yeah.
Like, read your contract.
Absolutely.
You know, the faster as a society we realize that everything that's happening to us is our fault, you know, individually.
Accountability, yeah.
Yeah, bro, like
Accountability,
that's
people.
the first step of being an adult, dog. It's like, yo, whatever's going wrong with you, good or bad, it's because of you. You have the power to change anything in your life if you want to, you know, but we choose certain decisions. Those decisions, it's like the butterfly effect. You know, you take one little micro step right, and so you just got to think about what your actions are. But yo, it's in the contract, bro. So if you don't read your contract, that's on you.
Okay, so it's more so user error, if you will. In your opinion, what would be your let's go best to third, top 3 music videos you shot?
Oh wow, Machine Gun Kelly #1,
Okay,
for sure. Man, for me, it's like emotional though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
I have
yeah,
great
yeah.
stories. All of Fast and Furious. I won with Jack Harlow, Ty Dolla $ign,
Okay.
and 24K Golden.
Okay, that's huge.
You know, and it's crazy because I had wrote like on Fast and Furious 6, 7, and 8, and never got any of them. And then I got like the whole campaign of 9.
So when you say wrote, you're pitching them?
Yeah, you're pitching. Yeah, so labels will come at you with briefs,
Okay.
and they'll tell you, we got this project coming up. Do you want to pitch? And they probably have a pool of like 5 to 10 directors. and you're competing for the best concept wins, and whatever the artist feels is the best concept wins. Sometimes the artist gets it right, sometimes they get it wrong, in my opinion. But
So for young directors looking up to you, watching this podcast, how do you position yourself to be in those situations, to be considered by labels? Is it really just getting out there and making a hell of a name for yourself, and then
I
finding
mean, consistency is one.
Mhm.
You know, I started shooting local acts. Oh, by the way, number 3 would be Bad Baby Bestie, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
But yeah, consistency is number one. You have to be consistent, you know, and not focusing on money, because you're not going to make money at first.
Yeah.
You know, you're not. I mean, you're going to get out there, you're going to grind it out. Find a local rapper in your hood and start shooting it. Find a local band in your neighborhood and start shooting that. Whatever your interest is,
Yeah.
you know, shoot. Just go out there and shoot. Know that you're gonna. I've invested money in local acts before actually making a penny. You know, like, I'm gonna go buy this camera to go get this shot. I'm gonna get this lens, or I'm gonna get this filter. Or I'm gonna get this edit pack and learn how to use this editing software to figure it out. And hopefully you get noticed, man. But that consistency of branding yourself and putting your name on it. Branding is very important. Putting your name on things and not doing what everybody else is doing. You know, and I always equate this. Best way to understand it is maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, there was I call it the squiggly line effect, where everybody was just drawing on the videos. I don't know if you remember that. Every video had like those super colorful lines, and people felt like somebody took a Sharpie marker and it was just traced out. And every video had that. I refuse to do it. You know, people would ask me for it. I'm like, I'm not doing that, because everybody's doing it. And then what happened? Dave Myers did it on Travis Scott's video. And it was game over. After Travis Scott's video, what was that video? Sycamore. When the Sycamore came out, that ended that era. That's You know squiggly line effect I'm talking about, right? Remember everybody was doing that shit? Yeah, and then it blew up like 2017. Big Act started doing it, and I was like, I'm just not doing this shit. You know, and I actually lost a client like that once. Yeah, a big client, because they took my edit and then they drew on it.
When you pitch, do you pitch a budget as well, so you could underpitch your budget so you could be more
No, the first step is pitching it. And then if they like it, they'll tell you the budget. We have XYZ. We'll have 100 grand for this video. We have 10 grand for the video, 5 grand. You pitch your idea. When they ask for that budget, you got to be within that budget range. Usually you have a 10% window you might be able to go over. So say $10,000, you come in at 11, maybe 12, you might still get the job. Unless they tell you it's a hard 10. Like, don't come at 10,001. We don't have it.
I heard one time you had I think it was a budget of like 10 grand, and you needed I think it was a techno crane, and then you went out and bought it yourself.
Yeah, I rented it myself. Sometimes I lose money all the time.
But you spend money to, like, obviously you see where you're.
Yeah, but you increase the reel, and then you can start asking for more money because people want that look.
Exactly. Now, you also quoted on saying this business is built off relationships. What would you say your top 3 relationships are, and how do you utilize them?
My top relationships upstairs. You just open the door. EFN is my top relationship.
Got it.
Second biggest relationship that I have in the business. Subby. I don't know. EFN is probably my main relationship. Just because that's a brotherhood. Second relationship would probably be Joe Boyd at Atlantic Rec. Well, he's no longer at Atlantic, but Joe, Vincenzo. Those are my label connects, and Millie at Atlantic and Interscope. I love them to death. And Devin at Republic. Those are like my guys.
Did you meet those guys once through Tunnel Vision, essentially? Like, did you?
Joe, I met through Tunnel Vision.
Okay.
But I'm like a cockroach, bro. Like, once you like let me in the room, like, it's game over, dog.
Same. I can relate to that.
Not let me, like, if you let me in the room to clean your house in 5 years, I'm gonna buy your house.
Yeah, I hear you. No. I hear you. What are some projects you're excited to shoot this year? And you're excited, or I guess you're still pitching, or do you have stuff on the calendar that you're like really excited about?
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple things. You know, some I could talk about, some I can't. But you know, I just shot my first feature in Arkansas, my first feature film in Arkansas last year. That should be releasing this year, called Shaky Grounds, and now I'm pitching on my second movie. Yeah, so I'm more excited about my feature career. It's all way harder of an undertaking to break through.
Absolutely.
But I got my first one under my belt, and now I'm moving into my second one, so I'm pretty excited about that one.
That's huge. Congratulations on that. Okay, so moving into film. All right, a little Scorsese action.
Yeah, trying.
If you could go back in time and change one thing about your career, what would it be?
Oh, that's a good question. Nothing, because then I wouldn't be sitting here with you.
I'll take that. I'll take
No.
that.
I
If
feel
you,
like I feel everything we do has its purpose, right?
yeah,
Like if I went back in time, better yet, let me put that better.
yeah,
If I went back in time and changed one thing about my life, I may not have my daughter.
I see what you're saying.
And
Okay.
if there's a slice, a sliver of anything that would cost me my kid, I won't do it.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, that's a very okay. Now when you put it like that, I feel bad for asking the question.
Yeah.
If
No, it's
you're,
not cool. It's cool. This is honest questions, fair.
if I guess we'll wrap it like this. If you were to look in the camera and tell your younger self something, what would it be?
You'll be all right, bro.
So keep pushing kind of deal and just
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I could tell my younger self is just believe in yourself. This I dealt with a lot of self doubt growing up.
is there ever, I kind of want to ask this during the interview. Is there ever a day or a time you didn't think you were going to make it or you thought you were going to quit?
Yeah, 20 minutes ago.
Yeah. I hear
Like
you.
every single
It's
day,
tough.
it's the plight of an artist. You know what I'm saying? Like you get up and you gotta go, what the fuck am I doing with my life? You
Yeah.
know, like every time for every video, better yet, for every video you've seen me do on a major label scale, which is over 100 by now,
Yeah.
right? I've pitched probably 5,000. You know,
Wow.
like you go to my, and I'm not even exaggerating the
Yeah.
number. You know, it's like 5,000 concepts have come out, and I've gotten maybe 100. And you gotta go. You know, I've had spells where I don't shoot for 6 months, and I'm just grinding, and you
Yeah.
gotta hold on to your money, and like the first 5 years of my career, I was eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches so my kid could have a good meal, and
Yeah, yeah,
but I
yeah.
had to believe that this was gonna work, this was gonna work,
Yeah.
this was gonna work, and I'm not gonna go work another job. I have quit
Yeah.
my job, and I'm not going back. And this is what I do, and that takes a lot of fucking effort, and it
Yeah.
really fucks with you. I've been in this business will is a one-way track to therapy real fast. And I've
That is a very good.
you want to go to therapy, dude, get
Yeah.
in the entertainment industry, start doing drugs or go to jail. One of the three, you're gonna
Mhm.
end up in therapy. You know what I'm saying? And I've done all three.
Yeah.
So like I had to really like focus myself, ground myself, and realize that it's not about me.
Yeah.
This is me. This is who I am.
Mhm.
And now how can I offer to the world what I have? And the second I make it not about me and me just trying to offer up what I see
Mhm.
and how I see it, the more successful I become. The second I take my ego out of it, like my VMA,
Yeah.
for first, dude, the VMA was the biggest
Yeah. You're right.
fucking gut punch ever. You know
What
what
do you
I'm saying?
mean? What do you mean?
Yeah, I got a VMA and I thought, I'm gonna be fucking, that's it. I'm gonna get every video I ever
Yeah.
pitch on.
Oh, that.
It's
Okay.
on, I'm on. Like I got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then you realize, oh shit, I'm pitching against Hype Williams. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like now it's a different fucking ball game. You know what I'm saying? Excuse
Yeah.
my language. I'm sorry.
No, it's all you can.
Yeah, yeah. I'm pitching against Hype Williams. I'm pitching against Dave Myers. I'm
Yeah.
pitching against Benny Boone. Benny Boone's a good friend of mine now, thank
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But like I just lost to Benny yesterday. So Benny, I just lost a video to you, by the way. Congratulations, now it's my dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. It's not that it's gonna get easier. No, the competition just got way harder.
Yeah.
And my VMA, which
That's sobering. That's
and
very sobering.
yeah, it's sober. And as much as I love my VMA,
Mhm.
it doesn't talk, it doesn't do anything. It's a great fucking paperweight. That if you don't come to my house, you don't see it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fuck the VMA,
Yeah.
fuck the awards,
Back to
and
it.
just go back to the grind.
Mhm.
Hit the street, get
Mhm.
going with it, get hard, and just toughen up and go out there and get it. Because that's what the first 6 months of that was like. Yo, what's going on? I thought it was gonna be money falling out the sky.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like that. It just got real hard, dude. And I was like,
Absolutely.
and I lost 2 MGK videos after that video.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there a way like?
I lost the one that he did with I think the artist name's Bear. I lost that one, and he got a VMA for that one too.
Oh fuck! The one with the car. The
car,
car
yeah.
was upside down.
Yeah, I wrote on that one as well. Yeah, and I wrote on the one with Willow Smith too.
How long does it take you? Like, if you say hypothetically, artist or label sends you a song, how long do you take to marinate on it and then write it? Like, how many times would you re-listen to the track? How many times would you?
Sometimes it hits me in 10 seconds. Sometimes it takes me a couple days. It also depends on how fast the label's giving you. The label might tell you 24-hour turnaround, which is crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I just had that last week. And then I called the label. Now I've gotten smart, yo,
How's it?
like
Yeah.
you hit me on Friday. Nobody's reading this treatment over the weekend. Let me just turn it in Monday. Like, stop playing. Like nobody.
Yeah.
Stop justifying your job. But I'm at a point where I could do that now and talk to these people honestly. And they'll laugh. They'll be like, yeah, it's cool. Monday's fine.
Yeah.
But when I first started, when they said I need the treatment tonight, it was tonight. And I lost a lot of jobs like that because I didn't think it through all the way through.
Yeah, you're just hungry and you're so
And
ambitious.
you're just like, you just got to write and you got to get the pitches down. And 9 times out of 10, they don't even read that shit. You got to be careful. Sometimes record labels will just have you pitch to justify their jobs, and they know who they want.
Okay,
But they
okay,
just got to
okay,
present
okay.
options to the artist as a safety net in case the artist doesn't like the director that they think they want.
Interesting. I guess, yeah, you have to get fleeced a few times before you kind of know that.
Yeah, but I also know that I don't get 100% of the videos that I don't write on.
Do you know the pool of directors pitching each time, or is that an
Sometimes I ask, sometimes I don't care.
okay?
Because why even do that?
Is there a couple artists in the industry you still really want to work with that you haven't?
Yeah, of course. I mean, favorite rapper of all time is Kendrick Lamar. I would
That would be
fucking
big.
shit a brick to work with Kendrick.
Yeah.
Um, I would love to work with the Arctic Monkeys, believe it or not. I really fucking like their music.
I like a few of their songs too.
Yeah. Trying to think who else. Portishead is coming out with a new album. Fucking
Who?
Portishead is a British band from the 90s. Fucking
Okay, yeah,
phenomenal.
yeah.
But I doubt I'll get the video for them. They don't even do videos like that.
Do you directly just deal with the label, 100%, or sometimes is it direct director to artist?
Sometimes director to artist, like with Busta Rhymes, Busta will just call me.
Okay.
Yeah, Busta will just call me and be like, yo, I need this video. But when Busta calls me, I know I have the video.
Yes.
Because Busta's telling me like, yo, I'm gonna do this with you, and then I'll go do it. You know, management sometimes will, like, if it's management, I have relationships with certain management artists. Management is who controls
Do you have a
everything.
favorite person to work with
Favorite person
in
to
terms of
work?
chemistry? Like, yeah, me and him are just like locked in when he's on set.
Hold on, let me think about
All
it.
good, all good.
Fuck. Nah, they're all different. I think they're all different. I mean, Kodak's pretty cool. Like, when I fuck with Kodak, it's pretty cool.
Do you have a favorite day on set you remember? Like, yeah, that was the best day of my career.
Bad Baby Bestie.
Yeah.
That shit was so nuts because the label, you know, Bad Baby was 16, and I wanted to make a horror movie, and I didn't know, like, you know, it's a horror slasher serial killer film. If you watch the video, it's nuts, you know. And I forget when I sent the label, the treatment, they called me back. Devin, my homeboy, I love Devin. He was like, yo, whatever you do, just make this shit bloody.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, word? They're like, yeah, kill everybody. And I was like, dope. So I did that. And then I remember the day before they had product placement. And you're like, how do you put product placement in a horror movie?
That's is there, I want to hold that there for a second. Is there a lot of product placement in videos nowadays? And as a director, are you responsible to making sure everything gets shot? Like,
yeah, they're paying for it.
Yeah. So like, you got a list and like,
yeah, you give me a
us
list.
a little insight on that.
Yeah, and they'll give you a list. Say it's a most prominent one that everybody knows is Beats by Dre.
Yeah,
yeah. So Beats by Dre will tell you we need 8 seconds of integration in the video, right?
Okay.
1 3-second close up of the beat,
Wow.
you know, and then 6 seconds of the artist interacting with it in an organic way. What that means is she can't be like, check out my Beats by Dre. Like, she can't.
She's running up the stairs listening to music, or she's getting up.
Yeah, or it's around her neck. And the product has to be used in a way that's complementary. And then on top of that, it gets very weird because you can't have a conflicting product in the video. So, for instance, say you have an alcohol brand like Tito's Vodka or something.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a beer.
You can't have a beer and you can't have tequila. Like, the whole bar has to be Tito's Vodka at that point. Like, you can't do that. You know, or if you're gonna have other bottles, they got to turn around. You know.
Okay.
And it gets down to the shape of the bottle. So if you bring in like, say you can bring in prop bottles, which is fine, but they can't have the shape because even the bottles are trademarked. The shape of the bottle.
Yeah, of course.
So you see a Bacardi bottle, you can take the labels off, you'll know it's a Bacardi bottle.
No, of course.
So you have to be very careful with all that kind of shit too. So with Bad Baby, they had Beats by Dre pulled out. Beats by Dre was one of them. They pulled out because the video was too violent.
Okay.
Which is dope.
Interesting.
I fucking was honored. I did my job. But we did an infomercial because I remember back in the day, horror movies had intermissions.
Okay.
So I stopped after the first verse, just cut it, put her on a white cyc, and made it like an infomercial, like you were watching QVC. And that's how I did that shit. You know, so it was dope. And we had Fashion Nova, some hemp shampoo product, and it was just her doing that, and it was like real the way we did it. You know, like she actually didn't know anything about the brand. She was just talking, and then from there, I had to go shoot DMX for that video.
That's crazy. Well,
and Kodak didn't show up to that video. He was supposed to be in the video. He didn't show up. Yeah. So that was crazy because I had some old white guy doing Kodak's verse. So we just had a blast.
That's what. Wow. Yeah. All coming to me.
Yeah, because he didn't show up. So I just I made it that she cut the guy's head off, and his head was on the table, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and the old white guy was like doing Kodak's verse.
Talk about thinking on your feet.
Yeah, and I told the guy, yo, don't say the N-word.
Yeah.
And he was like, cool, bro. He was letting them fly. And I was like, damn, I guess I had to cut around that. Yeah, he's just reading the lyrics. You know?
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
not saying
yeah,
it intentionally, like racially.
No, 100%.
He's just, he was that moment, like, learn this right now. And he had to learn it. So he just learned it verbatim. He didn't have the rhythm to, like, pull back when he got that word.
Like, I guess a white guy getting on set.
Yeah.
First day. Here's some Kodak lyrics. Good luck. You know
good luck, 65-year-old guy with an AARP card.
100%. And I guess that's I always think, like, when you start to see the artists with hired actors, and that's when you can really tell there's a label around them. But with that being said, I appreciate you joining me on my show, Capital Culture.
No, it's all good, man. Thank you, bro.
Been very insightful today. If you want to leave with a message, your camera's right there. You can look into the camera and say something. But
whoever you are, if you got a dream or passion, follow it. Don't let nobody tell you can't do anything. Peace.
Broadcast Wheeler, Michael Garcia, Capital Culture, Season 4. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next one.
Have to audition 5 minutes into this.
Busy working on my fucking